If you got married after less than 6 months of dating, what's your story? Within 30 days. I don't know. It was crazy. It was fast, but 6 years later it's amazing. We just knew. Once we met we did not separate. It was instant love. As soon as I saw her I just kind of knew. My aunt set us up. Our first date was fantastic. And from then on we never wanted to be apart. We have 2 kids and I have never been happier. I can't imagine my life any other way. We still joke about our super long courtship. We both know it was stupid. It was ridiculous. Neither of us normally jump into things. But this, it hits different than anything else I've ever experienced. We both kind of stalked each other from far away. Imagine 2 very shy people trying to speak to each other. When it finally opened, we fit together like pieces in a puzzle. He was from USA and I was Canadian. He lived up here for 6 months before having to go back. We got married instead. 15 years later. We're amazing. Best decision of my life. My friends met on Halloween. Engaged on Thanksgiving. Married New Year's Day. They lived 900 miles from each other. Still married 30 plus years later. Explanation. When you know, you know. You know? Quote. We got engaged and moved into an apartment together after about 3.5 months of dating. But we didn't get married for another 6.5 months after that because of the time it took to make the wedding arrangements. So maybe that doesn't count. But it's close. As to why it was so quick, I guess we just knew we wanted to be together and didn't want to wait. We've been married 33 years. Been 15 years married strong here. When I was in my early 20s, I took a 5-year hiatus from dating and concentrated on building a stable career and life for myself. I didn't want to just hook up. So I was waiting until I met someone who was worth my time and also wanted to settle down and share a life together. I met that someone randomly on Facebook and we started chatting. After a month of chatting, we met up and then were inseparable ever since. He proposed very early and we moved in together within a few months. Bought our house within the year and legally got married at City Hall before purchasing the home. All relationships take a lot of work and communication. Also, knowing that your significant other and yourself will not be the same people we were 10 years ago. And also won't be the same 10 years from now is helpful. Our needs and desires change. But to this day, they are still my best friend and we still text each other throughout the day and enjoy each other's company. Not me but my parents. 5 months. They just celebrated what I think was their 37th wedding anniversary. I've lost count lol. My wife is from Eastern EU and was on vacation visiting family in my US city. We matched on Tinder and met at a restaurant for drinks. I still remember exactly what she looked like walking through the door. She was even prettier than her pictures. Stunning. And I loved that she was well-traveled and super intelligent. On the first day we met, I told her that she would be telling our grandkids the story. We ended up engaged at 3 months and got married in Vegas at 5 months. We're now just over 6 years married with 2 kids. And we dropped our oldest off at his first day of preschool today. Met at a hookah bar my husband was currently working at after a drunken night. Talked for 1 month, instant connection. In the 2nd month we went to a friend's wedding and immediately started talking about marriage. Ourselves because we knew we didn't want to be with anyone else. On the 3rd month we eloped because we wanted to surprise our families and now we have been together for 5 years. Edit. Just want to add this in. Although this may sound easy, my husband is Nigerian and I am American, so it did take my mother-in-law some time to accept us. Especially since we eloped and were in our early 20s at the time. Cultural differences. Marriage is hard, but when divorce is not in your language, you work harder. Smiling face with open hands. 4 kids and 36-year wedding anniversary next month. Started dating in October. Found out she was pregnant in December. Married in March. 37 years. 2 children and 2 grandchildren later, we're still together and happy. My parents got engaged after 3 weeks. This last March was their 50th anniversary. Sometimes it works. Married after 8 months of dating. Tomorrow we celebrate our 39th anniversary. Exclamation mark. Purple heart, purple heart. My wife is from Brazil. I'm from the USA. We have a mutual friend in Vancouver, Canada. My wife was visiting our friends for 10 days and she really wanted to go to Whistler MT. My friends had no car and thought I may like the girls, so he invited me to come visit over the weekend. I was undecided, but on Friday morning around noon I hopped in my car and drove to Vancouver. I met my future wife that evening and I learned it was her 30th birthday that day. We all hung out and I felt a little awkward. The next morning her and I drove up to Whistler. The roads were horrible, but I could already feel something between us, so we trudged on. We spent the afternoon at the mountain and had some food and a beer. When it was about time to head back to Vancouver, I asked if she'd rather we stay the night there. She said yes, so I went on my phone and booked a very expensive room since there were not many options and I was showing off. We got to the hotel and I learned that I accidentally booked for next weekend and ended up having to pay almost double for the night. This is still the most expensive night I've ever spent in a hotel. That evening was like a dream and I was pretty sure I found my soulmate. The next day we drove back to Vancouver and on the way I told her I was going to get back home and quit my job and sell everything to move to Brazil and marry her. She was a little shocked, but we decided to just throw caution to the wind and try it. That evening I drove back home and she left Canada the next day. For the next month we FaceTimed every day and decided that it would be better for us to have her move to the USA and we'd get married there. She flew to the US on a round-trip ticket just in case we didn't work out. After 30 days her return ticket was coming up and we decided to get married. In a few months it'll have been 7 years and we currently live in Brazil and she's an American citizen. I'm so happy I had snow tires on my Subaru and decided to brave the icy roads to meet her. Meet on AOL in 1999, married in 1999. 24 years and still going. We were both grad students and the department put us in an office sharing opposite sides of a desk table. After classes started in September, she had a long-time boyfriend, living a long way away getting an MD degree. But we started eating lunch together and enjoyed each other's company. By December we knew we wanted to be together, so I proposed to her and she accepted. We got married the following July. This past July was our 50th wedding anniversary. We were roommates. She confessed. We had our first date, and it was just like we were supposed to be together. I always say that our first kiss felt like Chitty seeing the time knife, kind of terrifying because it was so wow, but an ultimately life-changing truth. Which time? I've been married and divorced 5 times. I met number 3 on a Saturday and got married the following Wednesday. Lasted 18 months. I think the only time I dated more than 6 months was the first. Probably 8 months. Have been married 8 years. When you know you know. But marriage is testy, you have to give it your all sometimes. We eloped in Vegas after 3 weeks. April will be 25 years.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.